Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan. And a few months ago, I reported on the upcoming spinoff for the Netflix Witcher universe called tentatively The Rats. Now, not a whole lot about this show was known at the time. Beyond that, it would cover the rats from the Witcher novels that Ciri interacts with for a time during the second and third books of the Witcher saga. Now, the problem with this is we already get a ton of rats in those stories. We get their entire arcs for the most part. We don't really need any additional information than that. And more importantly, the Witcher universe is not in a very good state right now after the disastrous release of Witcher Blood Origin. I actually predicted that they would probably cancel the rats as a result of the atrocity and the abomination that was the Witcher Blood Origin. But we have confirmation now that the rats is moving forward. Now, a lot of people criticize the name The Rats as a show title because it's not a good title. I will freely admit that is not a good title. I love it for the name of the group, but as a title of a TV show, not really something that I'm interested in. But surprisingly enough, they made the name worse. Netflix has managed to make the name of this series worse than just simply The Rats. Now, all this information comes from the Redanian intelligence. They've been spot on in every single release that they've done. They're heavily tied to Netflix, and they're always the ones breaking Netflix news about the Witcher universe. Now, The Rats, it's coming probably later next year, probably 2024 is the planned release, and that is still the speculation done in this article as well, because it's going to be coming between seasons 3 and 4. That's the plan. The problem is, at the end of season 3, the idea, at least from the books, I'm just purely going off the books because it's impossible to tell within the Netflix universe, because they're not accurate whatsoever, but in the books, Ciri does briefly meet the rats at the very, very end of that book. So it is possible that we'll get a little bit of the rats at the end of the season, and then we'll get a ton of them in season 4. So where does this slot in? Initially, we thought maybe it was a staging ground between seasons 3 and 4 and tell Ciri's story with the rats while in between the books. The problem with that is that entire story is pretty well told in the books. There's nothing that isn't told that we need to know. So that seemed like an odd idea to make it a series spin-off, especially considering the whole main show is basically hers. We have confirmation that this is indeed a prequel series, not a sequel, not a stand-in in between seasons 3 and 4. Ciri will not be in it, and that's probably a good thing in my mind, but there's not really much in the favor of this series. So going forward, the Redanian Intelligence, new story and production details on The Witcher's Rat live-action prequel. Again, they call it a prequel here. Now we have confirmation of that. There's been a lot of silence since Blood Origin, like I said, a lot of doubt of whether or not it was going to move forward. Now they can confirm that the Rat spinoff is still on, as they have a few more details. I'm actually very, very surprised. I thought Netflix would clamp down on this, especially with their stock prices dipping to record lows, subscriber losses at record lows. I thought they might cancel this because the reception to Witcher Blood Origin and the expected future reception of Witcher Season 3 is so abysmally bad that I just say, at least if nothing else, hey, let's delay production on this for 6 months. Let's just delay production until after season 3 of The Witcher comes out so we can see how the reception to Henry Cavill's departure is, and then maybe we can go forward with this other spin-off, because their spin-offs so far haven't been doing so well. Neither is the main show. Going straight into a cinematic universe doesn't work for anybody. It didn't work for DC. It didn't work for the Darkverse at Universal. Marvel at least built it up slowly, but everyone's trying to go to the Avengers level event right out of the gate, and that's what Witcher did, is it's trying to be the massive cinematic universe right out of the gate, and that always creates issues, and we're still seeing the repercussions of that mistake this late into the series so far. But continuing, they have a working title and shooting dates. They're shooting in South Africa, and it looks like they're going to be filming between April to September of this year. So very, very soon now, just a couple months. I would delay that. That's actually just delaying the production 3 months, because Witcher Season 3 is reported to come out in July. So just push it back from April to August. Start in August so you can at least see how the reception to Henry Cavill's departure is received. If it's horribly bad, cancel the show. If not, if people are still excited about Liam Hemsworth coming to the role of Geralt, then you can proceed. But the more important thing here is they've renamed the show, at least tentatively, from The Rats, and they're calling it RIFF RAFF. They're calling it RIFF RAFF. I didn't think they'd make a worse title for the series than Rats, but they managed it. They really pulled it out of their ass for this one, RIFF RAFF. I am just not surprised at this point, because creativity seems so divorced from the Witcher writers' room, from everything that we've seen and heard from them, and how much they despise the source material. This might just be mocking the source material at this point. because Declan DeBarra, Haley Hall, who's running this show, none of them seem to possess even the basic precepts of creativity when it comes to their writing, and Riff Raff is pretty par for the course. But we also have a brief description of this series. 6 teenager thieves must rely on their criminal skills as they plan the biggest heist of their careers against the most dangerous crime ring in the kingdom. Now, this seems wrong for a lot of reasons, irregardless of the source material aspect of it, because that's whatever. The rats, we know their story, so we don't need any more, and anything that they include will likely be contradiction to the source material delivered in Blood of Elves and Time of Contempt. But 6 teenager thieves, I'm a little worried about that. If it's focusing just solely on teenagers, will this be some sort of Gen Z type situation where it's just a bunch of quirky little teenagers doing quirky things, and there's not going to be really a whole lot of substance behind it? Very similar to the recent show Willow. If it's just Willow set in the Witcher universe, the Willow TV series, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. Now, they're not, yes, they're kind of Robin Hoods, but they're like evil Robin Hoods. That's the thing, is yes, they steal from the rich, but they don't give to the poor. They act like they're moral crusaders, political crusaders in the books, but they are violent. They are deadly. Like, these are people that you want to put down if you're the government. No matter what government, no matter how good the government is, these people are slaughtering people left and right, innocents as much as anybody else. These teenagers are really quite violent considering their age, and Ciri participates in a lot of this, and that's important for her character arc because she feels alone. These are the only people who are nice to her. It's important, but they're making it out like they're the abject heroes in this because they're taking on the dangerous crime ring, and it's a heist movie, and that's quirky, and that's fun. We're gonna get teenage Gen Z Ocean's 11 set in the Witcher universe. They're so doggedly avoiding the Witcher brand that they're bringing in stuff like Ocean's 11 into this. And it's really sad at this point that they so despise the source material that they're bringing in different genres, just like they did with Witcher Blood Origin, to replace the source material. Even if they don't actively say they dislike the source material, like Beau DeMayo said they did, they are actively mocking it in every decision they make, like this atrocity of a show, because that is a terrible, terrible description. And by that description, we know that this is a prequel because there were 6 of them. Ciri makes the 7th of them, so this will likely come before the events of Time of Contempt. When they meet up with Ciri, maybe we'll share some footage at the end of season 3 where she meets him. Maybe that'll be in both shows or something like that. Maybe the rats will be telling the story to Ciri, so she might be in it just as a receptacle for the voiceover, similar to how Dandelion was in Witcher Blood Origin, receiving Minnie Driver's voiceover. Who knows at this point? But yeah, heist is pretty common these days, pretty popular, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Make The Witcher. Don't make what is just overall popular. Make The Witcher. That's what you've been hired to do. And as they said, they're still speculating that it will have a release of summer 2024, which is relatively soon considering that they're only going to start filming in April. I'm a little bit surprised at this point because initially I heard rumors that they were going to start filming in January, but April, it's a little bit of a different story. I really think that they should have waited. I had initially predicted that they would cancel this show after the atrocity that was The Witcher Blood Origin, but seems like Netflix is doggedly pushing ahead that they will make whatever content they want and you will like it because they're smarter than us, they're better than us, and that's kind of been the mentality at Netflix for a while with their original content, is it's just crap. They know it's crap, but they're going to push forward with it anyway. And can we expect anything else in the modern day? But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon.
Hey, yo, are you feeling what I'm doing up in here? Oh, I know you are. Do you miss all the good, compelling stories that we used to get back in Hollywood that they ain't putting down no more? Oh, I know you missing it. So check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues, baby. Book 1, Down in Flames. Book 2, Apocalypse Then. These are currently on sale. What are you waiting for? Get your hands on them. And we got Book 3, Kill the Dark, is coming down the pipeline. Just wait for all the good stuff that's dropping. You ain't gonna be disappointed, fam.